channel. Today we're just gonna do a quick market review of Bitcoin versus USD, and then we'll go into USD and Canadian dollars. As you can see, just as I mentioned to you in the last video, we had a nice little dip from all the way from 58K to $45,000 with a low of, if I'm not mistaken, 46.6, and now it has recovered since then to a high of 51.459. Obviously, I did a trade on that. I recommend it if you're shorting to have your stop loss somewhere in the 48,000 region, which it obviously hit it and passed it. Now it's going back up. I think it's gonna hit this resistant EMA ribbons up here in the 51,500 region, and probably roll over and go lower and break the 50 day. I think it's the, not on here, if it's the 54-hour EMA ribbon moving average. But if we go on the 1-day chart, we see that we're still a long way off from getting to the middle of our EMA ribbons. If you look at the Ichimoku cloud, which I don't have it on this chart, but it's probably lying around somewhere in the $43,000 to $45,000 region. After that, if it does manage to break through the EMA ribbons, what's gonna end up happening is it's gonna head lower, probably first to test the $40,000 region, and then roll over further to 35,000 and 30,000 region. I recommend right now waiting to see what happens. If it gets rejected from $51,500, then opening short orders all the way to $43,000 region is a good idea. Again, all of this is for education and entertainment purposes only, and none of this is financial advice, but you guys already know that. Okay, let's go to USD and Canadian dollars. USD and Canadian dollars is very interesting. I'm just gonna reload the chart here. As you can see, we've been having these channels that are trending lower and lower every time and hitting this base of 126.15. This base has been broken now, and if we do not manage to get above it and close above it on the daily chart, what ends up happening is we're gonna head lower. We're gonna head lower probably to 124.5 and even lower than that perhaps. But what you have to realize, and this is something that I just want to show you in general, is that when you get a downtrend like this, and we've been in this downtrend ever since we had the high of 145 back in the early days of the pandemic. Once you head lower and lower and you keep testing a floor, eventually that floor is going to break. And once the floor breaks, then there's essentially no stopping it from going lower. Now, as you can see here, usually these breaks happen if we do draw our trend line. If we do draw our trend line, usually these breaks sorry about that. So usually if we do draw our trend line, these breaks happen close to the 80-90% mark, and eventually the floor will fold, and once it does, then it keeps going lower. Obviously there are some fundamentals at play here, some macroeconomic trends happening, and one of them is the fact that, of course, the US dollar is being printed like there is no tomorrow, and simultaneously oil prices are going up higher and higher, and Canada's economy is an oil heavy one, so it makes sense that Canadian dollar is seeing its strength here. If we do look at the RSI here, we do see that the RSI is converging with our price, which could mark a reversal, but I don't see that happening anytime soon because I still think we have a lot more way to go, especially if we do see the oil prices going up and up still. Let's look at US oil here. Again, US oil prices pretty high. They've managed to recover to their before the pandemic levels. I believe that they are going to keep on going even higher as world economies start opening back up. And in fact, as they open back up, there's going to be ever more demand. And when there is more demand, the prices are going to go higher and they're going to limit supply artificially in order to get them even higher. I have a feeling, and again, this is pure speculation, we may see oil prices as high as 80, maybe even $90 a barrel. It's not too far-fetched, unless then they come in and bolster the supply. And if they do, to prevent like another economic disaster from happening, in that case, we might see oil prices coming back down to the $50 area. But as far as I'm concerned right now, I think we are going to hit the $70 and subsequently the $80 level in the next few months. We may see a retracement back to the $55 region in order to retest our 50-day moving average. Otherwise, it will keep on going higher and higher. All right, thank you. This has been it. Thanks for staying with me and have a lovely rest of your week.